This is concerning news of the Space Force and what their goals are. We know that the Space Force is part of the U.S. Air Force, Department of the Air Force for now, and they have an idea that they should be establishing bases on the moon for their Space Force. In December 2019, President Trump signed the U.S. Space Force Act. It peeled off an orbit and beyond branch of the military, much as the Air Force grew out of the Army in the 1940s. For now, the Space Force still resides within the Air Force, but nearly 90 of this year's approximately 1,000 Air Force Academy graduates became the first officers commissioned straight into this new organization. Some of those graduates were members of the Academy group called the Institute for Applied Space Policy and Strategy, or IASPS, and speakers and research project students hope to turn into peer review papers. Group aims to game out their policies and philosophies that could guide military space activity when they're old enough to be in charge. Particularly, these young cadets are interested in whether the Space Force might someday have a military presence on the moon and how it might work with civilians. The activity could put the Space Force in conflict with scientists who typically view the cosmos as a peaceful place for inquiry, but part of the club's mission is speculating about that interplay between military and civilian scientists, civil space agencies, and private companies as well. Cadet J.P. Byrne, who will graduate in 2021, is the group's current president, and he chatted with Science Insider about the Institute's work, and the interview has been edited for length and clarity. The goal, he says, is to develop space-minded cadets not just for the Air Force, but also for the Space Force. It's really important to know how space works, how we like to think we drive the conversation for space information in an unclassified setting. He said, I actually wanted to be a pilot originally, but going into my junior year, seeing all the developments, I started really enjoying space. It reminds me of the early excitement about the powered aircraft of the 20th century, in that we get to explore ideas that have not been thought of yet. And a lot of people say it's human destiny to explore space. In astrophysics, members are really looking at how politics on Earth will affect our assets in space. In astropolitics, that will make it, what it will take to make space a high priority again. Will astropolitics reflect Earth politics? Now, in military on the moon, they're looking at whether it's necessary to even possible to have a sustained military presence on the moon, not weaponizing the moon, but militarizing the moon. Many people see space as just supporting Earth in the air, land, and sea domains. We're really thinking that until space moves away from this supporting domain, it will only be an extension of Earth politics. We're also looking at the Russia-China cooperation. China is working on their own space station. Will Russia be cooperating more with China than with the U.S.? We have no solid answer on that right now. And the group was, he says, really interested in finding out what future role Space Force might have on the military on the moon concept 20 years or so down the line. Intergovernmental agency cooperation is paramount to having some future lunar base. Maybe in this scenario, Space Force would select astronaut candidates who would complete training through NASA. He says actually expected to be making fun of the Space Force a lot more than it did. Don't get me wrong, they did make fun of Space Force, but the accuracy of their ideas was really cool. I think the show encourages people to see that Space Force can be, because even though some of their ideas are completely out there, maybe 20 or 30 years down the line, they're not. This is on Science Magazine by Sarah Scholes. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not certainly on not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.